Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with some just announced physical releases. These are games that have recently been announced, they are not releasing this week. And as always, I do not put limited game stuff in here as they are always covered in Monday's video and there's no point repeating myself. Let's see what's recently been announced. Ariana and the Elder Codex is an action platformer, a very active one as well. Ariana is really showing those monsters who's boss here. Lots of big numbers flying in your face. It's got Idea Factory and Compile Heart involved in this one, but it doesn't seem to include their usual staples, and it looks like it could be a fairly fun time as you mix melee and magic attacks. It's releasing in the summer next year, physically, on Switch, PlayStation 5, and the evergreen PlayStation 4. Neopets Mega Minigames Collection. Now, Neopets, that is a name I've not heard in a very long time. Maybe they never went away, but it's been a really long time since I heard anything about it. On March 26th, you can get a physical release of this game on Switch and PlayStation 5. It comes with 28 minigames, which look truly awful. But if you want to pre-order it, or any of the games in this video, then please consider using the links I've put in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made via those links massively helps support me and this channel in the best way possible, and I do greatly thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you purchase from VGP, you can get free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks. Not that much, it's like 54 American dollars. Fear the Spotlight is a horror adventure game that's getting a physical release in March next year on PlayStation 5. It's got some PS1 style graphics, so it's right up my alley, and I'm super surprised this is not getting a Switch physical release, at least not that's been announced. Like, come on, it's not a performance thing, and it's out digitally on the Switch, so why not? Speaking of the digital release, it has very positive reviews, and I would definitely get it if it was on Switch. It's also been an exciting time for Nintendo Switch 2 physical releases. This week has brought more announcements than in the past few months alone. System Shock Remake is a really big one. To be able to play this atmospheric first-person cyberpunk adventure game on the go on the Switch and Switch 2 on a proper cartridge, it will be a real treat. Night Dive are going to have to do their best. Most legendary work to get this on the base Switch to run well, but the Switch 2 should be a more solid option. Currently, there are no pre-orders for it yet, but it is due for next year. Bluey's quest for the gold pen. On the surface, sounds like it should be like a kid's shovelware game, at least compared to the other Bluey games, but there is a bit of hope bubbling around this one due to the developer and the publisher involved. There's not much info to go on aside from it's releasing in the summer next year, physically on Xbox, PS4, PS5, Switch, and Nintendo Switch 2 as a proper cartridge. Order Up. Now, maybe I underestimated this. There is no modern trailer available, but when I reported on this in an announcement video last week, despite me thinking this was a throwaway shovelware title, apparently it is not. According to some, this Wii game and 3DS game is a mild underrated gem, so I guess I am a bit more interested. It's releasing physically on Nintendo Switch 2 early next year. Pastry Panic is another one that I internally thought was a bit of casual fluff, a little shelf filler, but on this occasion no one's attempted to change my mind yet. But maybe that's because the game's not officially out yet. It's on Steam in early access under a different name, but maybe this is the new name of what it will be when it launches out of early access. It's coming next year physically on Nintendo Switch 2. It kinda looks like Overcooked, but with rabbits. The Binding of Isaac Repentance plus Online is a bigger release for sure, not just in terms of quality and revenance, but also price. It's the Switch 2 tax in full effect, but this is a game that has almost endless amounts of content since it's been updated over the years. I am not going to pretend to know everything about it, but people more familiar with it told me it's likely to be the complete version of the game with all the latest content. This is releasing physically on Nintendo Switch 2 early next year. Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition is a recently announced release, and I'm surprised they didn't stick this in a Nintendo Direct. Then again, the trailer is 12 minutes long, so that might have been a bit excessive, and I am well up for this. The actual Switch 2 exclusive stuff doesn't seem very revolutionary, just looks better and has mouse controls, but it's also coming with the 3.0 update, which Switch owners will also get too, and that adds a megaton of content to an already endless game. My daughter is going to be well up for this, and it's releasing in January next year. Over the Hill is releasing physically on Switch 2 and PS5 at some point in the future. Right now, there's no date, but we do know the physical release will come with some extra goodies. The game is developed by the same devs as Absolute Drift and Zen Rally, so expect something pretty good, and hopefully not so jank on the Switch 2 compared to the releases on the Switch. This is a different kind of Zen though, erring more on the Mud Runners type of, overcoming the terrain with your Jeep. A bit of a puzzle aspect to it, and probably it's going to be pretty good. Crimson Desert is an open-world action-adventure game from the same developers as Black Desert. Unlike that, which was an MMO, this appears to be a single-player game, and from a shallow visual perspective, it looks really awesome. A world that looks lived in, it looks alive, and I'm not one to get hyped about, modern-day triple games, but this looks pretty badass. It's releasing physically March next year on PlayStation 5 and Xbox in a few different editions. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is releasing on PS5 and Xbox sometime next year. I don't know what this has to do with John Carpenter, aside from maybe they paid him to use his name. They say it's inspired by him rather than him having any direct involvement, but it's looking like a crazy, over-the-top zombie apocalypse FPS game that will probably be fun. Bendy and the Ink Machine is getting a physical release on Nintendo Switch next year. What? Doesn't this already have a physical release on Nintendo Switch, I hear you ask? Very observant of you, young physical fiend. Yes, it does, but this is enhanced. How is it enhanced? I can't find anywhere that elaborates that point. You'd think they'd want to try and sell you on this new copy a bit better, but maybe it's early days, who knows? But you can buy this better version again next year. Resident Evil Requiem is releasing physically on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X on February 27th. There is also a Nintendo Switch 2 game key. This is the 9th mainline Resident Evil game, and a lot of it was shown off in the Nintendo Direct. Now, in that Direct, in my reaction video, I did say the main character looks like she belongs in a Life is Strange kind of game, and I still stand by that. But I'm sure it's going to be good regardless of these young, hip kids. Now, where did I put my walking stick? This is coming in a standard edition as well as a steelbook edition. And as an extra slap in the face, on Nintendo Switch 2, there's going to be a 3-game game key bundle called the Generation Pack, which comes with Requiem alongside 7 and 8. I think we all knew they would be game keys, but this is confirmation, and it is a bit sad. Alright, let's take a look at some recent import announcements. These are games that so far only have an Asian or Japanese release with English, but since there's always time, keep in mind a Western physical could be announced at any point really. And if you want to pre-order these, you can do so via VGP or via PlayAsia, and use my code Jordan2025 to get 5% off. And quickly, if you're new here and you enjoy physical video games, you find this video useful, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise. Maid Cafe at Electric Street is an adventure game erring on the side of visual novel as you manage a cafe. It's a chill game with a huge focus on the narrative rather than actually doing anything, but it's nicely presented, has some lovable characters, and is a nice slice of life thing. It's coming at the end of February and also has a collector's edition which has a stuffed toy of one of the characters. It's random which one you get. You also get an art book and a soundtrack CD. The Game of Life for Nintendo Switch is a surprising announcement. This released in Japan ages ago and came with a funky controller, but now it's getting translated to English and is being released in Asian regions. This is a popular board game franchise, actually quite famous, but I don't think it's been translated to English much, if at all, over the years, so now may be the opportunity to see what it's all about. Incantation is a PlayAsia exclusive release in partnership with East Asia Soft. Pre-orders went live on Thursday, so now you can secure your copy. The standard edition will be reprintable, but the limited edition, well, that's going to live up to its name. This is a first-person horror game made by the same people as The Bridge Curse, which was a fairly solid horror game, based on a movie apparently, and I would expect a similar amount of quality here too. The cover art looks badass as well. And there we have a bunch of new announcements. What's taking your fancy in this episode? Let me know in the comments below alongside your thumbs up. If you want to pre-order any of them, please do so via the links below. I greatly appreciate that, and have a fantastic day. Take care.